Hello internets, Sir Mutton here, and this is Karanas, and that is a pretty big train. Classic bard kiting. It's on display here, and he's wearing full lambent, as classic as you could possibly get, before they came out with dyes and all that nonsense. It was nice to be able to look at some character running towards you and know immediately what class they were just based on their armor alone. And that was, I don't know, it was like an achievement of its own. Certainly one of the nicer parts of old Everquest. And yeah, so I decided to go ahead and show that off real quick. Just something I kind of stumbled into. There was actually a bard I got to talking to who was named Ennio, and I was wondering, if his surname was Morricone, because that's the famous composer of lots of great music, along with the Good, Bad, and the Ugly soundtrack, and many others. And of course, yes, he was a fan, and his surname was that. So that was pretty interesting. Not too many fans out there of his that I bump into from time to time, especially in the gaming world. Lots of death metal and rock. Not if there's anything wrong with that. It's just occasionally you bump into somebody who's a classical nerd, and well, that's always a nice moment. So yeah, I found Callowayne here. I never actually bumped into this mob when I was playing original EverQuest, so it's kind of interesting. Just stumbled into it out of nowhere. It was one of the first mobs I killed in the zone, and yeah, kind of disappointing with the loot, but what are you gonna do? Still kind of cool all around. And this guy just popped up out of nowhere. Muppet, yes. I was supposed to guild invite him a while ago, and he just disappeared when I went and showed up to where I needed to invite him, because you had to be in the same zone. So I was like, alright, and I'll just go somewhere else. I think it was Gaffey that I was supposed to meet him originally. And then I just wandered off, and, after waiting about a day or two, real life time, and I went and did some other stuff, and lo and behold, he pops up here, his little gnome self. So did a quick guild invite here, and got it over with. And that's always nice. He's got a nice robe on. I think that's an advisor robe. Those are really svelte, very cool looking. If I were to have a caster, I'd probably go for that. Maybe the robe of Oracle. I'm not too sure. There's a lot of really cool robes out there. That's the best part about EverQuest. Is you can have a full suit of armor and it looks pretty cool, but nothing really beats a robe in my opinion. That's why my monk is wearing one. He's donning a nice robe, and Griffons are green, but I kind of feel like killing him anyway because it feels cool to kill something that seems powerful, but in reality isn't. Or fantasy, I don't know what this would be. Virtual reality, I guess. That's the phrase I'm looking for. So yeah, guild invites are over with, and I'm killing some mobs. I'm taking a break from groups and pulling. There's a lot of stress involved with being a monk. They want you to pull a lot, but not too much. If you pull too much, then you tilt the balance. And if you slow down too much, they start complaining that the experience isn't so great. So. And then you get a bad pull, and it all just goes haywire, and you start feeling like shite. It's not good. Yeah, there's the classic treant giving alms to the sky. That's just such a cool look. It's the way they should look. And actually, they seem anatomically correct. Not that I was looking, but if you happen to perchance look at a a treant, on your way passing through the Karanas, you might notice some knots and some little, curves here and there that are kind of disturbing. But, well, maybe I just have too much time on my hands. And here we go. Here's a hill giant. I was wondering what was going on here, and this is a shaman. Shamans get pretty powerful after about 30, I believe. That's what the word is. I wouldn't know. Didn't try them. They're hellish to play early on, especially in Halas, because Everfrost is just not newbie friendly in my opinion. You got the vengeful skeleton or lyricist or whatever his name is, trundling around. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. Misty Thicket is just so much more hospitable. Common Lands is just a lot better. Even Karanas. Karanas is huge. All of the Karanas combined, each zone is just massive compared to, say, the Common Lands. And I found a werewolf. Now, according to the last patch, not the most recent one, but the one before that, they changed it so that they will only spawn during the nighttime and then they will disappear. They'll despawn during the daytime, which makes perfect sense. But I bumped into this guy while he was on his way to get lunch, and I decided to lay him to waste. And well, it wasn't so easy. Monk solo okay. They're not the best soloers out there. If without mend, it would be really terrible, and certainly without bind wound, it would just don't even think about it. But with those two things, readily at your disposal, you can manage well. Duoing, I think, is a lot better. And from here on out, not from footage on out, because I got tons of footage left over, but from my level where I'm at right now in real time, I think I'm just going to stick to soloing and duoing, because it's just a lot less stressful and a lot more interesting to me. If I were to be a different class, I certainly would group, but I just, pulling is so. And if you're in an area where it's kind of glitched, like a dungeon, it's, oh man, you'll find out. You'll find out. It's so, I don't know, dehumanizing to go through. You do everything right and it still goes wrong. I kind of feel like Grimes from Simpsons. I don't know if anyone ever saw that episode, Frank Grimes. Yep, if you're a monk and you're pulling and there's a glitched area, you start feeling like Frank Grimes real quick. And you don't really get too much loot anyway, unless everyone's rolling for stuff and you got a master looter. So you still, already feel like Grimes to begin with. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those weird oddities. I guess maybe it's just me. I don't know. I haven't heard too many complaints from other monks necessarily, but then again, I don't really hang around too many other monks. One guy I kind of know, he's plays more of his ranger now, and he actually does pretty well. He does well for himself. Got a rubicite breastplate here recently. That's pretty cool. Been duoing with him quite a bit, not for experience necessarily, but for camps. But that's for a later day. So yeah, you can hear the music in the background. I'll try to shut up here for a little bit. Just so tranquil. The guy who did the music for this is just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I wasn't too sure what to do here. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just show you guys my stuff, because I want to get the music in, but I don't want to detract from anything visually. So, yeah, there it is. That mask you saw there that I don't know how to pronounce has invisibility cast on it, which I still can't cast on myself because there's a level restriction. But it apparently sells for 200 platinum, and I found it on vendors for 1 platinum piece. And I was just like, oh, what is this? Oh, cool, it's got some, kind of clicky cast thing on it. I'll take that, yoink. And lo and behold, it's, 200 platinum. I'm not selling it. I'm not selling it. I'll need that. Thank you very much. So, yeah. I got a couple other clickies, but again, that's for a future day. Now these I never actually hunted either because I didn't know they were in the zone. I just didn't venture into this area near the shore, especially at nighttime. You can see them easily at nighttime, just kind of, lumbering around with their arms open, they're ahead of them like zombies. And that's a weird way of dying, but whatever. Yeah, that's too heavy for me to loot, so I'm not gonna bother. So yeah. This is a kind of a first time thing for me, so obviously they're green. I have no reason to kill them other than for yucks. So that's what I was doing. Just having a little bit of fun, messing around with my 2-hand blunt, Woo's quivering staff. And now it's time to, run the shore and go find some other areas that I didn't really explore too much in the back in the old days. So yeah, and more music. This is probably my favorite song. I don't know, kind of hazy on that, but it's just so tranquil. And then you look at the water, and it's got this kind of hypnotizing myriad kind of look to it. It's like one of those 3D audio stereograms that you can see an image beyond the static image that's displayed. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little too weird. And it's just water, man. I'm easily distracted and entertained, I guess. You can shake some keys at me like a child, and I'll just be enamored for hours, Yep, running along the shore. I was thinking about getting a fishing pole because I have one of those collapsible fishing poles that gnomes make, tinkerers, and they weigh a lot less. And I was thinking, oh, I'll go fishing, but I didn't have any bait on me, so that was out of the question. Another really cool thing, you look at the sky. That was not in original EverQuest. The sky in original EverQuest was, it was okay. But sometime in a later date, I think it was like Kunark or a little bit before Vilius, they added a much nicer layered sky, and everything just seems so much more, surreal and interesting. um, which is probably what led to the Shadows of Luklin, or whatever that was, where you go to the moon and all that crazy stuff. But I like this guy. I'm glad that they have the newer version of it. Does not in any way detract from original EverQuest. If anything, it kind of adds another dimension to it, um, literally and figuratively. So yeah, I'm taking out a graphene here, and it is really close. Um, I don't know what I was. Sorry, my throat. I don't know what I was thinking here. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of ballsy. Sometimes I just kind of go for it, and I'm bound all the way in. I think Freeport or not Misty Thicket, Rivervale. So yeah, and I just feigned death there, and I don't know what happened. That's just a fluke, a stroke of luck. I don't know, because I hit him and then I hit feign death, and that's a no-no. I mean, you do that, it's going to attack you when you're down. It's going to know you're alive. Um, you wait for it to hit you, and then you feign death with your auto attack off. And I don't know what happened there. That was a weird fluke, but I survived. I survived to fight another day. And that's always a nice, nice, pleasant surprise. And to get the sun just kind of pop out of nowhere right there, that's kind of interesting at sunrise. And back to the bind wound, the poor man's heal, if you will, and certainly is one of the better features of playing a monk class, especially since once you get over 200 skill level, then you can start bind wounding up to 70% health. So I'm not quite there yet, but I'm really close. So yeah, that's always really interesting about the monk class. You get some nice benefits that you didn't expect, I guess. I only played a monk originally to like 10 or 12, so this is really kind of my first monk. To say that, oh well, I played a monk before is kind of, a lie. I think anything past maybe 15, you can say you kind of played the class. But anything before that, you're just making stuff up. You don't know what it's like. So, yep, got the Karanas. It's very tranquil. It's very spread out. It's one of the better, more, well, less appreciated zones, I should say. Not very many people actually on this server even venture this far out, sadly enough. You'll find a few stragglers here and there. A lot of bards, a lot of druids, and a few rangers here and there, but not a lot of melee, not a lot of group-dependent classes, which there really aren't any group-dependent classes if you really know the class well. Certainly certain classes were tailor-fit for groups, but in my opinion, I think with any class you can pretty much get away with some soloing and some duoing. Those are hard words to say when you're tired. I haven't gotten very much sleep. Computer games are the bane of my existence, and also the point of my existence. So yeah, we got the Will-O-Wisp quest here, and that is very classic. 9 platinum apiece. That you can't beat that. A lot of people did this quest way back when. You go to Will-O-Wisp Island, and the oh, I forget. Is that Rudin's Crossing? I forget what the name of that ocean zone is. But a lot of people went there, collected bags and bags full of GLSs, and run back here and get a lot of platinum just in maybe an hour or two of work. So yeah, kind of farming, but not necessarily. I guess if you still get experience from them, it's not really farming. Although I don't, so well, I guess it's farming. But well, I like to think that it isn't farming, so I'm just gonna go with that. I can lie to myself, I'm fine with that. So yeah, this about wraps everything up. And thank you all for watching. And until next time, well, don't buy any caravans from gypsies. If you've ever seen Snatch, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, take care.